Anything is possible. It started with a dream.
Hello, everybody. It's Cindy here with Stampin' Chick Creations. Welcome. Happy Monday. Happy holiday Monday. I know many of you maybe are away or just getting back from being away or what have you, but I thought it was really important for me to still do the video tonight so that you could catch this later on if you needed to. So if you follow me on any of my social media platforms, you will notice that I'm doing something different tonight that I don't normally do. I am only going live in one location. Hi, Paula. As opposed to going live in all three of my locations, which is normally what I would do on a Monday. So I've been doing lots of research on algorithms and views and this kind of thing. And I've just noticed that my views are down quite a bit. And I kind of couldn't figure out what was going on and what was causing it. I know I lost some people during my technology issues, but it was kind of frustrating. So anyway, I come to find out it's Facebook. So Facebook has changed the way they do things, and it doesn't like it when you're pushing it out to multiple places. So I just thought I'd try this, see how we make out, and go from there. So thank you for joining me. Weather is crappy here in Ontario, so I was just out helping Sean with the cows, and I literally was wearing a toque because I hate the cold and I don't like wind in my ears. It causes me a lot of headaches and stuff. So I was literally wearing my barn shirt and a toque. Sean was laughing at me, but I was. So it is cold and yucky here. So it almost feels like an October day, not an August long weekend day. So boo-hoo. Okay. Cows are covered in mud, like covered in mud. It's ridiculous. Okay, let's get started. And I'm going to switch this around. Okay, so if you have not signed up for my August classes, can you please make sure you do so as soon as possible? Because I haven't ordered any of the items as of yet because they're a little bit delayed in shipping, and I just want to make sure that everybody has time to order what you would like. So if you have not done that and are interested, please let me know. All right, we are going to make 3 cards tonight. And my pre-order did not show up today as it was supposed to. Shocking. That's FedEx for you, because I find FedEx is not very reliable at all. And so it's supposed to be here tomorrow. So if it actually, in fact, does show up, I will try to go live and do an unboxing video for you. It will just depend on what time it shows up, that kind of thing, because I actually have a chiropractor appointment as well tomorrow. So I'm just going to have to play it by ear. So watch the media, social media channels to see what I am doing. All right. So the very first card that we are going to make tonight actually uses the Cheerful Daisies die. And I know you're probably getting sick of seeing this Cheerful Daisies die, but this is a different take on the Cheerful Daisies, okay? So I'm actually just have to remeasure my card here because I completely forgot what I did. Hang on, just bear with me 1 second. Is that really what I did? Yeah, I did 1/2 inch, I think, on either side. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a piece of lemon lolly. So if you've not seen this paper, oh, let me turn this light off. This might help. There, with the lighting. If you've not seen this paper, it is a very pale yellow. It's a very nice shade of yellow, but definitely a pale yellow for sure. So then, so what I'm going to do is I am actually going to get my pen, because I don't have a pencil close by, and I am going to bring in my ruler. So this is just a standard piece, and I'm going to put the opening at the top, okay? And I'm going to actually measure 1/4 inch. No, sorry, 1/2 inch on both sides. Okay, so this is at the fold is where I'm doing this. Now, if I had a pencil, that would have worked awesome, but I don't, so we're just going to have to make do. And then, so I've marked my 1/2 inch on both sides. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. I'm going to move my ribbon for a second. Excuse me. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to score the top of this at 1.5 inches at the top of this side. And I'm going to flip it and I'm going to do it on this side. Okay. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this to my die cutting machine that's beside me here. And I'm going to die cut the top of this card using the scallops from the Color and Contour set. Okay, so this is an older set. Love this set. Love the dies that go with this set. So I am actually going to fold this down. I guess I can get my paper trimmer out of here for 30 seconds. Just going to move this over here for 30 seconds. And I'm going to score this. And then I'm going to fold this one back and I'm going to score this one. Okay. I'm going to take this to my paper trimmer and I am going to die cut this as such. Okay? Okay. So, if you don't see me on camera, this is why. Because I am over here doing some die cutting. But I am with you still. It's just I don't want to try to bring the die cutting machine into camera because there's not a lot of room and it might make you actually kind of dizzy. So, I'm going to try to do this as quickly as I can. So, for this card, actually what I did was I actually went ahead and pre-die cut the daisies and the pieces that I needed, only because I was here early and I just decided I could do that while I was waiting. So I did go ahead and do that just to save a little bit of time, because I know this is kind of the boring part when you're waiting for me to die cut and come back and show you the wow, right? So there's that one. And it's hard, I find it's hard anyway, to die cut while I'm sitting. That's just me. I'm a standing up die cutter. Okay, so let's see here. What do we have? So we have this and we have this. Okay, can you see the scallops? Very pretty. And they're stitched scallops, which is really super fun. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to bring my paper trimmer back in. Because I said for 30 seconds, I might have just kind of lied a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I am going to cut from my score line my mark up to the score line, okay? So I'm going to cut that on a diagonal with my cutting blade. And then I'm going to go from my tick line to, actually I like to do, doesn't matter, I guess. My tick line up to my score line again. There we go. Okay. So, you might have seen this done before. So, if you're just hopping on, say hello. So, here is our little flower pot. Okay. Now, I'm going to, you can do this a couple ways. Normally, I would not glue this, but I'm going to, just because I like to give it a little bit of extra reinforcement. And I did my original card here with just Tombow glue is what I used. But for this one, I'm going to use a little bit of tear and tape. So the thing I will advise you on this is that when you go to do this, your card that's going to go in the middle, because we're going to put a piece of cardstock in the middle for our sentiment, you want to make sure, and of course I didn't follow my own advice here, you just want to make sure that you are leaving enough room that your card will slide nicely. So did you notice what I just did there with my bone folder? I just rubbed my tear and tape down and just applied a bit of pressure. And what that does is it actually helps you lift off that layer of tear and tape, because sometimes it can be kind of finicky. So you don't have to do this part as well, but I like to do this. I am going to put a little bit of tear and tape here, and then I'm going to open this one up, and I'm going to go a little tear and tape here, just to kind of keep this nice and firm. and flat so that when it goes through the postage, it's a little bit easier. I could have used my Take Your Pick tool for that. Okay, so here's my little flower pot that has a little mark on it, so that can be the back. Okay, now I had some papier ready. I wonder where I put that. Oh, it must be this piece here. Now, because of where I put my tear and tape, yes, beautiful. Okay, so here is my paper that's going to go on the inside. But before I do that, I'm going to bring in my daisies that I have cut. So here are my bits and pieces. I put my flower pot to the side for a second. So I'm going to use a sentiment later. I'm actually just going to take these leaves and I'm just going to like rip those off. I could take my scissors and just snip that. Just so it looks a little bit more finished. Okay. Now, on my original card, I poked out all these holes and I did some coloring on them, and honestly, I don't like how it turned out. So I'm not going to do that on this card. So what I am going to do though is I'm going to be very careful I don't break the petals. I am going to go ahead, and before I adhere this, I'm going to sponge the edges of this. Okay. So I'm going to use my Berry Burst. And I'm using a finger dauber. Now you can do this with your blending brushes, or you can do this with your finger dauber, okay? I've done it with both. Sometimes I like my finger daubers just because I find I can have a little bit more control than the blending brushes, but I think the blending brushes most definitely have their spot and their use, right? So I'm just doing the tip of that one. I will do the tip of this little daisy because I'm also going to do this. So what I've done is I've die cut the first big daisy, and then I have gone ahead and die cut the layers on top. So these are kind of like, we'll give it more dimension. And you'll notice that like I'm not re-inking my ink pad because this ink pad is brand new. And it's very juicy, so you don't even need a lot of ink for this one. Okay, so there's my Berry Burst. So now I'm going to come and take my fine tip glue. I think actually when I did this, I might have used dimensionals on my original card, but I'm going to use my no, I'm not. I'm going to use my fine tip glue. Oh my Lord. Can you tell I'm really tired? Fine tip glue. And I'm going to layer this onto my card. Oh, hang on, I gotta find my location here. You know what? I just realized that's throwing me for a loop. I do not have my silicone mat down. So that too is, it's right here beside me. There it is. Okay. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to put this daisy down, again using my fine tip glue. If I was on the ball, friends, what should I have used? The adhesive sheets, I know. And I never think of it until I've already have them die cut. I'm seriously going to have to write myself a sticky note that says adhesive sheet so that I remember. Okay, so again, I just did the tips of these. I'll show you my original card, and I did do a little bit more on my original card, but this way. Okay, so now it's very important that you adhere. Hello, Kelly. You want to stay tuned, Kelly. I have a technique for you next card. Why do I keep calling it Take Your Pick tool? This is your fine tip glue. Oh my Lord. And you'll notice that it has this like needle end on it. The really important thing is you have to make sure that this little pin gets in this hole. And I know that is very, very difficult. So what I like to do is I put my finger against the needle part, and then that helps me guide my pin that's in the lid into the actual hole, and then you can feel it go in. A lot of times I think what happens is that we think we've got it in and then we don't, and then it actually dries out on us and then we get grumpy. And it does dry out very quickly, so you definitely want to make sure that that you've got the needle in there. All right, so I'm using Lemon Lolly, and I'm going to just do the centers. Now, I'm going to tell you that yesterday I did something. I couldn't believe I actually did it. I actually put a blue Azure into my Lemon Lolly ink pad. So I know that happened at class, and the person that happened to felt really bad. I'm like, don't worry about it. It's an ink pad. And then I turned around and did the exact same thing. So it happens, right? So don't even worry about it. All right, so there is, hello, Cindy. Hello, Chris. Judy, hello. You can hardly hear me. Uh-oh, that's a problem. Uh-oh, hang on, is my volume down? No, my volume's up. Maybe I'm not talking loud enough. Do you think? Let me know how that is, Judy. Please, because I'm not sure. Okay, so I can hear you fine. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so then here is my daisies. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put these on here. I'm going to use my dimensionals because, you know, I love me some dimensionals. And I am going to use my Kaka scissors to cut my dimensionals because I don't like using my Stampin' Up! Scissors for that, because I don't like getting glue onto my blades. So I'm going to put some, throw that out. So I think we all have those. You can hear me. Okay, good. Thank you, everybody. So I do like to have a pair of what I call Kaka scissors that I use for stuff like this. And then I like to have scissors that I, my good Stampin' Up! Scissors that I will do like ribbon and stuff with. So I'm putting some on the big daisy and I'm putting some on the little daisy, my dimensionals. I'm not putting it on this half daisy because it's actually going to hang off my card. So this is going to go here. So it's just popping it up. And then I went ahead and I pre-die cut some leaves. And some of these, oh, they're stuck. Some of these sprigs that I could kind of tuck in here. I feel like there's needs a leaf right here or something right here. Maybe? Anybody else feel like that? Needs something right there, I think. We'll go like this. And then maybe what I can do is maybe cut this sprig a little bit. Let's go here. Let's take that arm of the sprig and see what happens. So I hope you guys all had a really great weekend. Like I said, the weather has been yuck as far as I'm concerned. My husband keeps reminding me that it is August, and I'm like, I know, and it should be hot and humid and sticky and dry. It should not be wet and muddy and gross. Because I'll tell you, the poor cows are literally up to their stomachs in mud. It's awful. And the poor boys come in after doing chores and they're covered in mud. Like, oh, it's just awful. And I was back there helping them today and I thought, oh. So hopefully it kind of dries. We're having a really, really hard time getting our hay done. We were out till 1 a.m. the other day. What night was that? Saturday night? We did a vendor event and then I came home and I helped the boys wrap the hay and we got in at 1 a.m. So that was a long morning. But we got 2 big fields done, so that was good. We still have many, many more to go, but the struggles of being a farmer, I'm telling you. Whoops, sorry, I'm hitting my camera with my head. My apologies. Okay, so there is that part done. I feel like I'm missing a piece to my glue. Okay, maybe not. Let's try putting this on here and see what happens. Oh, no, maybe not. Okay. All right, so this is going to go into my flower pot. Like this. This is cute. Isn't it adorable? Okay, we're not done. Okay, so now what I want to do is I have brought in this black ribbon that I absolutely love. And I'm going to do something cheater. I hate doing bows. So if you know me, I hate it. I cannot feel my fingers long enough to make a bow. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do a faux bow. And I'm going to actually go ahead and I'm going to put some adhesive. This is tear and tape right here. And again, I'm going to push that down so that it's easier for me to lift off. Like that. And then, okay, ribbon, cooperate with me. So I always cut off more ribbon than I need. Always. Because I would rather have too much ribbon and cut it off and then save that little bit than not enough ribbon. Because again, I can't feel my fingers. So then I'm like really mad at myself because I'm fighting with the card and I get frustrated and it's just not good. So here's my tear and tape off. So again, I'm just going to wrap this around and I'm going to make this nice and snug. Okay. And then I'm going to snip this off nice and close. Oh, my ribbon got a little bit crooked there. There we go. Okay. So now this piece I'm going to attempt to make a bow, which, remember I just had the conversation about using more ribbon than not enough ribbon? Yeah, well this would be one of those situations where I might have left myself a little bit too little. Oh, maybe not. This is what I did yesterday, and I made the cutest little bow. As long as I can get it nice and tight. Okay. So I'm kind of a little bit lopsided, but that's all right because I'm going to tie that nice and, okay. So I'm going to trim this off, trim this one off. Oops, let's trim that one off. And then I'm going to put this little guy right there because it's just so stinking adorable. Okay. And because I've completely misplaced my glue dots. Oh, actually, I had a whole box of glue dots that I just took with me to that event on Saturday. I'm just going to use some tear and tape. And I'm going to put this little ribbon right there. Okay, so there's my little bow. Okay, let me put my bits together here because I got bits going on everywhere. Okay, so I don't need those leaves. They can go in the garbage. So here's my card. Now, I could have embossed this base, absolutely, but so I'm going to do Oops-a-daisy, so sorry, wishing you the brightest birthday. I'm going to take this one, wishing you the brightest birthday. Okay. I need two little blocks that are, of course, buried underneath everything else. And I am going to, I'm going to do these in Berry Burst because I want to bring in the berry burst from the flowers. Perfect. Sounds great, Chris. I actually have a bow maker here and I've never used it. And I've actually used a fork is what I've used. So if I was really on the ball, I could have grabbed a fork and done it that way, but okay, so Oops-a-daisies. And then this is going to go on the inside. I just can't feel my fingers, right? So I'm just like, it's always like, I don't like little things, little tedious things, not my thing. Okay. I'll do this closer to the top so that I have space to write a message. There we go. Okay, so Berry Burst can go back home. Now, I'm going to put this back inside here. So is this not stinking adorable? I'll show you a couple cards. The card I made yesterday, and then I'll show you, I just used my good scissors on that. Oh well. And then I'll show you the card I did with the old paper. I can't think of what it was called now. So I'm going to go, oopsie daisy, so sorry. And then wishing you the brightest birthday. So I think this is like a super, super fun card. And it's just adorable, right? Thanks, Chris. Okay, so this is the one I did yesterday. So you'll see I used more Berry Burst like in the center of the flowers. I didn't like that. And I didn't do as much greenery in it. It looked empty to me. But then I did do more sponging on the flowers. So a little different. Same idea, but a little different. This one I think I like it better with the yellow centers, personally. But than the pink centers. I was kind of knew what I wanted to go to, but not really. So this was the card that it was inspired from. I had made this card. I was going to do this on a live a couple months back, obviously when these were still current. And then I never did get around to doing it. So this is the same kind of idea. Just these flowers were the from the paper. I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, you could die cut them right out. So same idea. And you don't have to do the scallop if you don't want to. Like if you don't have the die. But that scallop, honestly, I've used quite a few times. And it's from Color and Contour. And it's one that I'm sure you probably have overlooked. But if you have it, definitely pull it out and use it because it's a really, really great one to be using. Okay, I'm going to just quickly clean my stamps because I want to make sure these get put away nice and clean as best as I can. So, fingers crossed that my pre-order shows up tomorrow. One box still says it's in customs in Memphis. So that really does not impress me. So one of those is going to be my pre-order, and one of those is probably going to be my new catalogs. So we will have to wait and see what happens when FedEx decides to show up tomorrow. Here's hoping they decide to show up tomorrow, because otherwise I will be very angry. All right, on to card number 2. Just putting my little bits away here so I can stay nice and organized. Okay, so this one actually came as a request, I guess, from somebody in our group. And I was like, yes, I can do that. Until I went and realized, no, you can't do that because you don't have the right die to do that with. So I had to improvise, but that's okay because I did it, I think. And it's just going to show you the concept behind it. And then you can decide from there how you want to do yours. Okay, so what do you need for this one? So this is a really super, super fun technique. You need masking paper. So if you attended my masking paper class, you will have a whole bunch of this. So I've just put mine in the cases that we get from our dies. I keep all those. And I use them for a variety of things. Like I use them for my dimensionals. I use them for my glue dots. I use them for a variety of things. So it doesn't look like anything special, but on the back it's kind of separated into 2 pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to cut this piece down to, I don't know, I'm going to go 1 1/4, I guess. This doesn't really matter too much on the measurement of this one, but I'll just do 2 pieces at 1 1/4. Now, again, I had to improvise on this because I didn't have the right die, but I'm going to try. I did find a die that I think maybe will work, so we can try it, and then I'll show you the original card. I messed around with it a couple times, a couple different ways. So the thing you need to know about masking paper is that when you peel off the back like this, do not stick this right onto your card, because you won't be able to get it off your card without ripping your cardstock. So what I'm going to suggest is that you take it, you put it onto your pant leg, and you lift it up a few different times. Okay, so really what we want to do is take the stickiness off your masking paper, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but I promise you it will save you a lot of aggravation and frustration when you go to remove your bits from your card. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to get my pieces here. So I think this is the piece that I want. So what I have gone ahead and done is I actually took, and you are not going to see this probably. Let me see if I can put this on a piece of gray, maybe, if that helps. Maybe that might help. So I took a piece of vellum, and because I didn't have, like, I was looking for like an arched type die. I didn't have anything. So I actually took Grassy Grove, the die from Grassy Grove, and I die cut it, and then I kind of took off some of the sharp edges off it. But then today on a Facebook group that demonstrators are allowed to be part of, somebody actually used, on a different style card, they used the Elegant Borders, which kind of has this arch. So I was like, hey, I could absolutely use that. So I'm going to try this one with the arch, and then I'll show you the card that I made with the Grassy Grove, okay? So the lesson here is it doesn't really matter what shape you use. You can do this circular, like use your masking paper in circular and then do the technique in the middle, and you'll get the same effect. I'm just going to do mine on the side. And then, which way do I want to go here? And then, again, possibilities here are endless. So I'm just putting my masking paper down. I'm going to pull the back off this one as well. I'm going to do the same thing on my pant leg. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, I'm masking, essentially, is what I'm doing. But you're masking and you are creating a really cool background technique. So if you have the basic borders die, that is actually the one that you really want to do this technique with. I think that one would look the best. So we'll try it with this one, see what happens. So I'm going to make a spot. I don't know, I'm guessing on how wide I want to make this. The important thing here is try to make sure that your mask is straight and even, because otherwise your design won't be even and it will look a little bit on the silly side. So I am going to do this card in Coastal Cabana and Highland Heather. And I'm going to start with Coastal Cabana. It does not matter which one you start with. And you can do any color combination. So I'm going to pull this up a little bit so you can see what the heck it is I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to put my mask. So I'm calling this my mask, okay? I'm going to put this down. I'm going to bring in my finger dauber. Now, again, I did do this with the blending brushes and it worked out really well. I just felt like I didn't have enough control. So I just decided to use the finger daubers. I prefer the finger daubers when I'm doing fine things like this, just because I feel like I have more control. Okay, so I may not get the effect I'm looking for here, actually, because I don't think this is going to have enough of a, I don't think this was going to have enough of a curve that I was looking for. So I will show you what I did with the card yesterday, but I'm thinking, just looking at my first one that kind of went down, I'm thinking this one is not going to be a good mask. Yeah, it's not going to work. I want something with a nice arch, and I don't think this is going to give it to me. But nonetheless, I'm going to finish this card. I'm going to show you what I did. I'll show you the different color combinations. And you could probably do this with tearing your paper. Like I've seen it done with tearing your paper. I just find that using something like the window sheets like this just is a little bit more sturdy. So it, yes, it's not giving me the curve that I kind of expected it was going to give me. So this is not what I had envisioned, but I will carry on, because this will just be my sample. See, it looks just like blah lines across, right? You're thinking, what the heck is she doing? Like, what the heck? Well, that's not a very big wow, is it? No, it's not, because the curve is not significant enough. So just stick with me and I'll show you the finished one. Oh, what am I doing? So you could do this again, like in a circle, right? And kind of make it look like a wave. Would look kind of cool. So the really important thing here is that you want to make sure your colors don't blend together. Because your colors start blending together, it's going to look kind of crappy. Okay, so I know it doesn't look like anything fancy dancy. But stick with me because I'm going to show you the one that I did. And then you'll understand what I mean when I say it's not very fancy dancy. Okay, so once you have this off, you're going to pull this very carefully back. So again, when you go to take this off, if you didn't take enough of your stickiness off that, it will rip your paper. So that's where you really want to make sure you've taken some of the stick off. So we're going to go, oh, see, like that. I wonder if I can cover that. There you go. Okay. So we've got this little strip. I am going to, okay, so pull that over there. So I'm using Smoky Slate as my base. I am using Coastal Cabana as my next layer because we just used Smoky Slate and Coastal Cabana. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Like such. Okay. And then this little guy here, I am going to move my finger daubers out of the way. And there again. Remember I said every Monday night my phone goes crazy with my sisters? There it goes. All right, I'm going to use this right here to fill in some of the white spaces because I don't like those white spaces. To me, it looks way too stark. Where do I want this to go? Like, these aren't really words. They're just, I don't know what the heck they are. Okay, so I'm going to go here, 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 there. So you notice how I did not stamp on the whole full generation. That's what they call it. Second generation, full generation is when you stamp off. That's the difference. Okay, now, stay with me. What do I want? I'm going to take in this one here. So this is from Gorgeously Made. So this is the class that's happening at the end of the month. So this one, you're going to get half the pack of paper and the gems and 8 cards, 4 designs, 2 of each for $42. Okay. So be sure to let me know today or tomorrow at the very least if you would like to participate in that class because I'm putting the order in for the items. Okay, so I'm going to go die cut this right beside me, and then I'm going to use this piece here and I'm going to die cut it out. And I'm going to show you that card in just a second. Let me get this die cut for you. And then you can see what I'm talking about. I will show you actually the other design and the other color combination that I did that I actually quite liked. I was trying to decide if I liked it better using the blending brushes or if I liked it better using the finger daubers. And honestly, it's tough because I like them both. The blending brushes, I find, I felt like I was going to blend the colors together. Whereas the finger daubers, I felt like I had more control with. So I encourage you to try this once I show you the other technique that I did. So if you have a die that looks like a wave or like a hill or something like that, that would be a perfect technique to do this with. Which apparently I don't. Like, who would have ever thought that? But anyway. Okay, so I'm just going to take this. I love this die. As you might have noticed, because I think my cards last week were around this one too, weren't they? Okay. So I'm going to kind of go this way with this on an angle. I'm going to bring in my stamp that says hello. Just because sometimes, you know, you just want a card that isn't for any specific reason. Actually, I met a lady on the weekend who said that she just collects greeting cards. And I said, oh, and what do you do with those greeting cards? And she goes, no, I just collect them. I said, like, you don't send them away? She goes, no. She goes, and they're mostly like just like generic, like, I was thinking of you. Or this is a card about nothing. And I said, oh. She goes, oh, I have hundreds of them. And I thought, okay. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. But yeah, she just says she loves collecting greeting cards. That's a different one that I've never heard anybody. I've heard people say they love receiving greeting cards, but not just basically just collecting them like stamps. So then I said to her, well, maybe you should be putting those in the mail and giving them to your friends as happy mail, because, you know, people love getting happy mail instead of a bill. She goes, oh, that's a really good idea. I kind of chuckled. I was like, yep, sure is, because I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to glue this one down. Now, see how my this black piece on my glue came off with my lid? That is not supposed to happen, but for some reason mine does. So what I do is I just twist it off. I put it back on. And then I put my needle back in. Mine just has always done that since I got it. I don't know. Okay. So where's my dimensionals? Right here. Okay. I want to make sure I use my not so good scissors. And hello. And then I'm just going to put that about there. And then I'm going to go ahead and I am going to glue this down onto this card base. I love the color combination on this one. I don't love the card per se, but the color combination I think really pops. Okay, so now while that's drying, let me show you what I did. So, using the Grassy Grove die, I actually did this, which, let me see if I can zoom in just a little. Oh, I guess I'm fully zoomed. So I actually did this where it looks like little hills, which I think is actually, hi Janet, which I think is actually kind of fun, right? So depending on the die that you use, you're going to get a different look, okay? So then the very first one I did was this one. So you can really, really see the difference, but see how this, I didn't like the spacing between them. But this one I was using, I think it was Lemon Lolly and Azure Afternoon. And I really, really like how this turned out as far as the technique, but I just didn't like the spacing between the two. And so I did a couple different ones, but this was with the blending brushes. So I really, really like this one. I like the color combination and the look of it. I didn't like the spacing between it. And you have to be careful you don't blend your colors. Because if you blend your colors, then it starts looking mucky, right? So, but yeah, so you'll see that the arch, that's what it is, an arch. That's what I was looking for. That did not work for this card. But this one I think is kind of fun because it shows like the bumps. So if you have something that is like an arch, it would look really cool. So if you did it as a circle, and then you could do your arch you know, kind of back and forth, I think it would look awesome. So that is that. Okay, let me put these dies away. Now this card, I actually wanted to push myself out of my comfort zone. And I think I did it. I have a die. So if you're a demonstrator and you saw this card on Demonstrator Planning Place today, no cheating. I did post it today on the Demonstrator Planning Place, which I have never done before, to be quite honest. So this last card that I've done, I wanted to push myself because I have a die that I have never, I don't want to say I've never used. I think I have only used once, okay? And I love the die, but I've never really used it the way it should have been used. So I thought, well, how awesome would it be if I could, like, kind of combine this, right? So I am going to use the Trucking Along bundle. This die is on back order until October, which is really super unfortunate. However, I have one bundle left that I messed up and I ordered an extra one in error. So if you are interested in the bundle, you need to message me and I will sell it to you because it's the stamp set, which is this one, and the punch. So the stamp set you can still get because we produce those right there in Utah, in Kanab. So this you can get. The punch is the item that's on back order. So if you want the two of them together, just message me and I will sell that to you. So the die that I am talking about is Give It a Whirl die. So you're probably like, what the heck are you talking about? Oh, I didn't even realize there's clouds in here. Oh, shoot. Maybe I should use those. Okay, so you will notice that I have not used this because it kind of, I'm not going to lie, it kind of scares me a little bit. Like, it kind of intimidates me a little bit. But after I made the card yesterday, I was like, okay, this is not a problem. Like, this is totally not a problem. I can absolutely 100% do this. So, before I jump ahead here, here's some little bits and pieces. My nose all of a sudden has gotten crazy itchy. So you do not have to use this piece. You can make it a heart, you can make it a rectangle, you can make it a circle. So these are the pieces that will show your image. And I just realized there's clouds in here and stars, which I had no idea. I could have used those for my graduation card. I was trying to, hi Marlon. I was trying to make stars for a graduation card, and I went scouring through my sets and my old sets. And anyway, so we are going to use this, and I'm going to use a stamp set that I just purchased. It just came in, called Kindest Expressions. And I got it because it's a bigger set. So sometimes I just want like a bigger stamp set for the front of a card. So so I thought this was a really great one. And I like the With Sympathy part and Oh Happy Day, you know. So this card that I did last night, I don't love how it finished because I wasn't sure where I was going with it, but I love the concept and I think you can really build on it, okay? So let's get started and we'll see if I can do this again without messing anything up. And I'll show you a couple tips and tricks to this set. So I am going to use a piece of Misty Moonlight as my card base. Okay. And then I'm going to use a piece of Tahitian Tide as my next layer. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to glue these two down. And I just want to show you the versatility of the stamp set and of this Take a Whirl die. Because I think the problem with the Trucking Along bundle is that everybody is only seeing it as a Christmas set and a holiday set. And it, my friends, is by far much, much more than that. So if you look at the set, it only has the Christmas trees and Wishing You a Festive Christmas. That is the only two items in the set that makes this a holiday set. The rest of this is actually all season, right? So what we are going to do, if I did this right, I am going to take this piece, this die, okay, so it's the solid die, and I am going to run this through the die cutting machine. And you're going to notice that there is a little pinhole. I just realized I forgot Brad's. A little pinhole right here, okay, that is going to kind of hold everything together. And this is going to cut out because this is going to be our notch, okay? So I'm going to die cut this, and I got to grab my brads because I did forget to grab the brads and put it into my basket. So I just sneak away and just grab them after I'm done running this through my die cutting machine. Okay, so doing a lot of cricking and cracking tonight. Okay, so here, oh, I'll have to trim that off. So there is my die. Let me grab my brads. Which I think are these ones. Nope. These ones. Okay. So I put my brads in these little containers, but I have one that I think I put on Cricut and I cannot get the stupid things opened. Okay, let me just trim this down just a hair. There. Okay. So this is going to be the front. So I'm done with that die. Then I am going to take this die and I'm going to cut it out. Okay, so you're going to see how easy this die set actually is to navigate and to use. It's really not as intimidating as it looks. And trust me, if I can do it, you 100% can do it. Okay, so there's my circle. So I'm going to throw that in the garbage. I'm going to put that over here for a second. Now, what I need to do, now this was a tricky part, I think, if I remember correctly. What I need to do is decide where I want this to cut out. So I can cut this out up here in the center of my card. I could cut it out here and make my card landscape, right? And then I thought then you could kind of do this spinny thing here, but I thought, is that kind of weird to make a card landscape like that? Or for some reason I could go this way, I suppose, if I wanted it to go on the bottom. So or I could go this way, either way, okay? So I decided to make mine go this way. Okay, so this is what my hole is going to be. So again, if I go back to the dies, I could make this a circle, a heart, a rectangle, whatever. Okay, I'm going to keep mine with this one because I'm comfortable with that, but I encourage you to experiment with this if you have this die. Okay, this paper's got to go. This paper, she's got to go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to line up my holes. So there's a hole in the die and there's a hole in my paper. I'm going to line those up and I'm going to go and die cut this. Okay? Because this is going to be the front of my card. Now, would I have normally done this on white? No, probably not. I probably would have originally done this on like designer series paper or a different color, but I didn't really know what I was doing. So I thought, let me do it in white and then I'll decide what I want to do. So, and just for the sake of doing it the same and not messing it up, I'm going to do it exactly the same, and then I can always modify the card later. Okay, so I die cut that. It popped this piece out. Okay, so here is the front. Now, I'm going to move this over for a second. So here is my take your whirl, or your whirly part, right? So this also has a hole in it. And you cannot see this on camera, but there is a very faint pattern that matches this. okay? And what that means is that that is how I am going to line this up, and that is where my image is going to go, okay? So what I did was I took, now this is one I stamped and then it messed up because the window is filled in, you'll see. So then I kind of lined up my truck and I thought, okay, where do I want this truck to land? So I thought, I don't want to be able to see the brad, right? Because I want to hide that. So I'm going to put my truck about there. Okay, are you still with me? Okay. Now, the very first one I'm going to do, if I can find it, is flowers. Now, what I'm doing is I am using this truck as my mask. Remember we talked about masking? So I could have actually stamped him out on masking paper and done this exact same thing, but I stamped this one yesterday and then it got messed up because the window got filled in, you'll see. So that's why I'm using that, okay? So I'm going to stamp my flowers in black ink. I'm going to hold down my truck, and then I'm going to come in, I'm going to stamp. Okay? Good so far? Okay, now I'm going to turn this here. Sorry, I'm trying to see in the light where my lines are. Okay, so I'm going to turn this one. I'm going to take these flowers off. Where's my stamp set? Okay, you guys are still with me? And I think I'll do the palm trees. If I can find my block. Palm trees. I'm going to stamp these ones in black. I'm going to put my truck back and come in. And now, of course, I don't have my head, like, my head is in the camera, so it's kind of hard for me to see. Okay, and then I'm going to turn this again, and my last image, if I did this right, don't move. Okay, I'm going to clean my stamp. You guys still there? You're very, very quiet. Very quiet. I'm going to use these flowers. I was going to do the presents for something different, but I'm going to use these flowers. So if you're here with me tonight, I have something very special planned for August. So you'll have to stay tuned, but I think you're going to love it. If you like fancy fold items, I think you're going to love this one. Okay. Now what I should have done was probably made sure that my truck was in the exact same location, but anyway. Okay, so I have 3 images stamped. Now, so I found using the truck, now I will tell you what I did last night, was I actually used the actual truck, like the actual stamp to do that. Sorry, I went this way. The actual stamp, and it was kind of hard because the stamp is thicker, right? So, I was worried I wasn't going to get a nice crisp image, but I did. It actually worked out really well. Okay, so now I'm going to finish this one off. So I'm going to do this one with the palm trees. And I'm going to do this one in Old Olive because I love me some Old Olive. I just feel like you can't go wrong with Old Olive. I'm going to flip this baby over. I'm going to pull this down a little bit so I can see what the heck it is I'm doing. I just get my head in the camera for about 30 seconds so I can make sure I'm lined up. I can't tell if I'm lined up. Shoot. Oh, here goes nothing. Okay. No. Did not turn out amazing, but it's hard when you're doing this on camera as opposed to when you're doing it yourself. Okay, and then I'm going to use these flowers. So these flowers I'm going to do in yellow, because I want them to look like daisies. So I'm going to do them in crushed curry, if I can get my crushed curry ink out. Okay, so here's my flowers. I'm going to turn this around. And the reason I'm going through and making you guys watch me do this, I'm just going to go down off camera here, guys, because I can't see. The reason I'm making you watch me do this part is because it's easier to do this before you assemble your card as opposed to after you assemble your card. Okay, so my palm trees did not turn out amazing, but that's okay. And then these ones, let's do these ones in like, what color? Let's do them Berry Burst, I guess. I'm a little bit obsessed with Berry Burst these days. Don't ask me why, but I happen to be. Okay. Now, again, these ones here, hard to see. I'm guessing. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so now what I would do if I wasn't live, I would go in and inkpad did not close. Okay, I would go in and I would color the other bits of this. So what do I mean by that? I'm going to take my Stampin' Write markers and I'm going to color my leaves. And then, of course, I can add my Wink of Stella, right? Because we love bling. We always have to have our bling bling. So we're going to add the Wink of Stella on here. We're going to do all those fun things. So now, I'm not going to go through and finish coloring this because I think you kind of get the deal on this, right? Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to put this behind, not in front. So I'm going to line that up, and I need to actually stamp my truck. Is what I need to do. So I need that one, and I need this one. So my truck that I did yesterday, I did him in Misty Moonlight. That's what I did, and he turned out super duper cute. Is this going to be big enough for my truck? Yep. Ooh, yep. Okay. So I need a slightly bigger stamp than that. So I like to stamp the image in black, the outline in black, and then I'm going to do the insert in Misty Moonlight. Okay. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, so here's my truck. And let me clean this because I want to make sure I'm keeping my stamps well loved. Oh, I forgot the wheels. Forgot his wheels. Let's make my truck have some wheels. He's not going to go very far without any wheels, is he? Well, he has wheels, but I want to fill them in so they look like tires. Whoopsie-daisies. Okay, so this is always a tricky part when I'm doing two-step stamping on camera. Is always lovely because I cannot see what I am doing. So I'm really guessing. Okay, it's not too bad. I'll take it. All right, now. Okay, so here is a trick with the stamp. Can I just tell you, I keep messing this up. When you stamp your truck, when you fill in your truck, if you're not coloring it, if you're filling in your truck, you do not need to press hard. I keep doing that because I'm just trained to press hard when I stamp, but I forget, like, I don't have to do that. So hence why my window got filled in, because I was pushing too hard. Okay, I think this is right. Oh, and I think I used the wrong color. Did I? Oh, I think I did boho blue on my other one. Shoot. I did not do Misty Moonlight. I did boho blue. I was like, why is that so dark? Okay, doesn't matter. I'll show you my original card anyway. But if you push too hard, your windows will fill in. I thought my stamp was defective, and then I found out that the operator was defective, not the stamp. So, don't push hard. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to bring in my punch. I'm going to line this up as best as I can. And I'm going to punch. Ho ho ho! There's Miss Santa. You haven't even seen the rest of the card. Wait for it if you think this is adorable. Okay, so before I assemble this, what am I going to do? I'm going to do something I did not do in the right order yesterday, so learn from my mistakes. I yesterday used Sending Sunshines and Rainbows, but I'm going to use Oh Happy Day on this one, okay? Just because I think it's a really great one. And guess what? I don't have Oh Happy Day put together yet. Because like I said, the stamp set literally just came in. And Maya used the Thanks So Much. And I've got such a disaster on my desk right now, because I'm just throwing things to the side. These are the things you don't see on camera. What our desks actually look like after a video. Everybody thinks I'm all organized. Yeah, no. I'm getting there. My assistant is doing a fantastic job of keeping me organized. She reorganized my scrap drawer, and she actually laminated my papers to go on the drawer to tell me what colors. I was like, wow, you are fancy. Okay, so Oh Happy Day. So again, normally I would not do this in white because it's way too stark for me, but I'm going to use Parakeet Party. And I go, Oh Happy Day. I put way too much ink on that, so fingers crossed. Okay. Oh, let's stamp straight. Okay. Oh Happy Day. Okay. Clean this off. Now, remember I said we had clouds in our dies? These would look super cute with this one. But for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stamp them. Because I have clouds in my set too, right? So, and if I use the right color, they may actually not be so dark. I can't believe I used the wrong blue. That's okay. You guys would not have known the difference unless I told you so. All right, so I'm going to do a cloud here. I'm going to do a cloud here. And I'm going to do a cloud about there. Okay. Now, are we ready to put this together? Let's put this together and then we'll put the final touches on it. Okay. Because this one is really, really fun. Okay, let me close up my ink pad, because you know me. I like to get my fingers in my ink. Okay. Okay, so these brads that I'm using are very old brads, but that's okay. You just use what you have. Oopsie daisies. If you're like me, you probably have hundreds. Okay. Now, of course, my coloring is not done on this. So I'm going to line these up. I'm going to line up my 2 holes. I'm going to put my brad through. I'm going to separate my brads so they stay nice and flat. Hi, Kathy. Okay, now my truck, if we did this correctly, should go about there. Now, when I go to turn this, oh, I'm holding it down. I'm wondering why it's not turning. I'm like, why is that not turning? Because I'm holding the paper. So now I'm just testing to make sure my images are all in the right spot. Oh my gosh, they are. Okay. So now I'm going to use my poo-poo scissors. Where's my poo-poo scissors? Right here. And again, I'm going to bring my truck in, make sure my truck is in the right spot. So my wheel is covering the brad. So essentially, I want my dimensionals to go about yay. And I'm going to line these guys up about there. And then when I turn, everybody should be there. Look at that go. Doesn't that make you happy? Makes me happy. Okay, it doesn't take much to amuse me. I know, I'm sorry. We need to put some grounding. We need to ground our little truck because our truck is just running away. He's not even grounded. So let's give him some little tire tracks here. I feel like he needs some tire tracks. Where is my long block? Right here. So I'm going to use pecan pie for this one. I love pecan pie. I love pecan pie, like the actual food pecan pie, but I love the color of pecan pie as well. So again, I should have probably done this before I assembled this, but oops, and nonetheless, we are going to, it's really hard to stamp with a camera up in your face. I'm going to put that one about there. And then I'm going to put this one about there. Okay. And I'll show you the one I did yesterday because it's actually finished. Like colored and everything. I did a few little minor things different that you probably won't even notice. But and now really, if I had messed this up a little bit, which there's really no mess up because there's no right or wrong to your card generally, is I could have added the rails because there's little rails that go back here. I could have added those rails if my truck didn't line up. Like if these images were up too high, I could have put the rails there and then it would have kind of hid that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I like to pop these up just so it gives the spinner more space to actually move about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to put some here, some here, and I think well, actually, you know what, maybe I should do just a little bit there. See, and if you use up the edges of your dimensionals, it's a really super duper great way to stretch out your dimensionals. And I'll show you the finished card that I did yesterday that I posted on the demonstrator planning place. So if you are a demonstrator joining us, you will find the other card on the demonstrator planning place. Oh, shoot, you know what? I cut my green the wrong size. Oh, no, I didn't. Well, yeah, I kind of did. Yeah, shoot, I kind of did. Oh, well. I'll show you guys the finished card. Okay, so I can actually pull this off and recut the paper if I needed to. So again, I would go in and I would color the rest of this. So the card I made yesterday is this one here. So I did use the block outline for the clouds. I used the boho blue as opposed to the misty moonlight. And then I put Farm Fresh on the door because I thought that was stinking adorable. And then I just used a different sentiment. And of course I cut the paper the right size because apparently I was tired last night when I cut these. And I didn't cut the length the right size. But I can fix that. And then of course I did finish coloring this one. Okay, my fingers are not working tonight, Cindy. Come on, come on. So there is my beach one. Cute. Did you like it? Okay. So those are your 3 cards for tonight. So again, if you love fancy fold items, if you're one of my fancy fold junkies, as I call you, love the fancy folds, want something different and unique, you are going to want to stay tuned because I have something very special coming for you. I'm hoping in the next week or so I can get the details published to you. just want to get my stuff together. Okay, so this is the first card if you're just joining us, and it's a flower pot card, which I thought was super cute, using the Cheerful Daisies, because I know everybody's getting sick of Cheerful Daisies, right? So there's number 1. Number 2 was this one tonight, but this is the original card. So just kind of using your masking paper, kind of like really, really cool. Thanks, Janet. And then, of course, our spinner card, which is like just such a fun card. So if you don't have this die set, it is actually very well worth the investment. It's called Give It a Whirl Dies. It's 21 dies you get in it, and the item number is 154326 if you want to go ahead and order those. And just a reminder that if you are placing your order and you earned your $6 coupons in the month of July, you want to get those claimed because you cannot carry those into September. So they're only good until the end of August, and then they expire. So don't let that money sit on the table and go for waste. We want to, Stampin' Up's giving those to us, so we want to make sure that we use them. Yeah, I think, Chris, I think you're right. I think Lisa's going to be very happy she ordered that truck set. So if you have the Take a Whirl die, I think you guys will have a lot of fun making this. So I do have 1 stamp set and punch left for the Trunking Along bundle. That, again, I ordered it in error because apparently I can't count. So when I put the order in, it was 4 o'clock in the morning. So I was a little bit tired. So I ordered an extra set. The punch is on back order until October. I think it said October 21st. So if you want the bundle, I will sell you the bundle. I will not separate them just because I want to sell them as a bundle. And hopefully my pre-order will be here tomorrow. I have a very, very busy day tomorrow, but I'm hoping I can jump on and do a pre-order unboxing video for you, even if it's later. I have a chiropractor appointment at 5 o'clock, and some errands to run. So I'm hoping I can get home and do a pre-order unboxing video for you, okay? And if you're wondering about the soiree, I will be sending out more details shortly about that as well. I just ordered something and it's supposed to arrive tomorrow. So depending on what that looks like when it arrives, then I will be able to release the details of the soiree. I just have to make sure that it's what I was looking for, and because that's going to depend, it's going to fluctuate the cost. So yeah, so stay tuned for the soiree. Stay tuned for the new item coming for the month of August, exclusive from me. And stay tuned for the unboxing video. I'm hoping will be tomorrow. If not, I will try my darndest to make it happen for Wednesday. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I hope you're having a great holiday Monday. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will talk to you hopefully tomorrow night. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Anything is possible. It started with a dream. Our passion made a difference and built a